Hello everybody and welcome back to From the Desk of Studio Ultra. Today I'm going to be reviewing our first G2 Bionicle set. This is Lewa, Master of Jungle. So let's do this. Alright, so here is Lewa, Master of Jungle. Now, quick disclaimer, I'm going to have a little bit of a bias, just because I grew up with G2. I was around like 9 to 12 around that time, and it was before I started the channel, so I never got to review any of these things. So now I'm finally getting to review them, and I am a big fan. Well, not too big a fan. I am equally a fan, pretty much, of both CCBS and the original system in G1. But CCBS is Creature and Character Building System. This is the first time where I'm going to be reviewing this system. So, yeah, it's going to be really, really cool. But yes, he was a really fun build. I could tell LEGO was trying. Like, they were trying to translate what was from G1 to G2 using the CCBS system. And even when they released the second wave of these sets with the Uniter sets, they were actually trying super hard to do that, what they could, without breaking the rules of CCBS and incorporating new pieces. So we can give LEGO some slack from actually trying here. I think this is a thing that, you know, was super cool to see, and definitely in some ways better, sometimes worse. You know, story-wise, it was confusing to some people, and it would make a lot of sense. But other than that, I think these sets are really fun. They're really cool. As sets, I think they're a solid, just awesome, just whatever. Just they're really cool. And especially Lewa right here. Especially since the last release of Lewa was his, I think it was Fantoka release, which... lime green joints. You know, he was cracking everywhere, and there was so much silver, and you know, people always had a lot of complaints about those sets, and so I think this brings so much more back. I think it brought Bionicle back, but sadly got canceled pretty much almost immediately. But for the most part, I think the set is really cool. It has great comebacks and all this stuff. So anyway, let's get into it. So first and foremost, let's get this out of the way. Articulation. So we got the ankles / feet, knees, yes, hips, yeah, and wrists. And by the way, CCBS allows for more articulation, elbows, shoulders. And so when that happens, and head, of course, you know, you have more posability and stuff like that in your favor. CCBS also allows a more open system and non-exclusive, so you can basically attach any CCBS system piece with another CCBS piece, which is really cool. And you can even attach CCBS to original G1 sets too, which is really cool. So people have been using this for mocking, and it is a very nice system for mocking, a lot easier. But then again, that kind of is a double-edged sword, because then again, it lacks its complexity. But that is something they try to fix in the Wave 2 of this, so, you know, whatever. But anyway, so he has some nice callbacks to the original Bionicle sets. He has this callback to the Mata and Nuva with his weapons, because not only is this an axe, like the original Lewa Mata, he also has a sword, which is like the Lewa Nuva set. To his mask is really cool. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it looks a bit too machine-like, but I still like it. I like it for its machine looks, but I think it's not supposed to look like a machine. It's supposed to look like, well, a mask. But other than that, it's trying, once again, you can tell they're actually trying to resemble the original Miru, Kanohi Miru. I don't even know if they're called Kanohi masks anymore. But you can see these two little gaps right here, and then the eyes. You can tell it kind of resembles that of the original Mata set. I used to have the Mata sets. I did collect G1 sets when these were coming out as well, just because I was very curious, and I loved it. I had all the Mata sets, and in fact, I even collected the entirety of the G2 sets, except for, well, I'm talking about G2 Wave 1 sets, like all of them, all the Toas, all of the Protectors, the skull spiders, all the skeleton sets, you know, all those. Really, really fun. They were really good. And I had pretty much all of them, but I sold all of them. So I'm getting them back for these reviews just to show you guys what they were like. But anyway, on to the rest of the stuff. So, one complaint I have is this print right here, because we haven't ever seen any printing on Bionicle sets before, and it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. However, it's a double-edged sword, because it's a good thing, because if this wasn't here, it'd be a bit more bland and uncomplex and a bit of a mess. And so that kind of helps balance it out by adding both the yellow and green color scheme upon this gray chest piece right here, and it keeps it from looking too bland. And speaking of color scheme, we have these new Keat orange and yellow pieces here and back here. You know, these spike pieces as well, which is very nice. They're the gray pieces. And then we have, of course, these green ones, and also these leg pieces right here. I really like what's going on right here. I do like this piece very much so. You can tell that they were trying to make it resemble that of the G1 sets with that. Also, wanted to point out, aside from color scheme, because we already pretty much got that down. That's that in gunmetal. Okay, anyway, back to the set. He has the CCPS friction joints. Oh yes, oh yes. These friction joints are awesome because they have a rubberized ball in the center, and it's not one that will degrade over time like the original G1 friction joints, which become loose over time. These things are solid. These things are very solid. And I know it hasn't been that many years. I mean, it's been since 2015, so it's been a little... I think it's been 7 years. I don't know. But anyway, I must say that these friction joints are very good. I wish they would have added them in the knees, because that makes the knees a little floppy without the friction joints. But whatever. Anyway, so got most of that out of the way. This guy has some really cool features. Let's talk about the mask feature first, and I'm going to go get into some of the accessories he comes with because of that. So, if I can get this focused, this is the mask, and this is a really cool way to take it off. So you can do this, gotta lean a step forward, and then you push this down, and it pushes the mask right off to reveal a very, very cool looking face. Now this face is kind of a good way to meld between the more Gotorian face and then the original, Metru and Mata faces. Just because it has like the more human-like features, but also has the metal pieces and that little eye stalk piece, as you may have seen in the previous reviews with the Towamari. And it has that thing sticking out, which is really cool. But you can see it kind of flops to and fro. Now this can be an issue with the mask being a bit loose, and so you got to be careful. But it's not too loose. It's not too bad. And it still is substantial for what it's supposed to be, and I still think it looks really, really good. He's got this green eyes in there, so that's pretty cool. So let's go ahead and put his gold mask on. He does come with a gold mask, which is super, super cool. This guy comes with a lot of things, a lot of accessories, and that is something I really like about the G2 sets. It's not just this character by itself, it comes with other things as well. So let's go ahead and put the gold mask on. So here I have the golden mask right here. You can see it's in pearl gold. And you can see that the mask attaches not by an axle piece or anything like that, but these two pieces right here connects to the side of the head. And so you just kind of lock it in like this. And there you go. He has a gold mask. It looks very nice with the color scheme. I think the Keat orange is what helps it to kind of blend in with it. And I think it looks super, super, super cool. It gives it a very nice look and adds variety to the set. Now another thing that you can attach to the face, it's another character. I don't know what it is, but it's included with the set as an accessory. It is like a Ridley Scott plot. It is the Skull Spider. Now the skull... Oops. His leg came off. Well, talk about an introduction. So, the Skull Spider. So here's the Skull Spider right here. He has 4 points of articulation, all of which are in the legs, as you can tell. And the Skull Spider is really, really cool. They were kind of the main villains of this first half of the first wave. But anyway, he's in a, I guess, Metro Blue, a very nice dark blue right here. He looks very, very nice. And he has the function of a face hugger. And by that, I mean he has these 2 pieces that were in the other masks that allow him to attach himself onto Lewa's face and I guess gain control or something. So basically with the leg again. So basically, I guess what these are supposed to be are kind of like the Krana in the original Bionicle Mata sets and Nuva sets. They are very much like the Krana and the Bowrock, and they're collectible, side collectibles, just little mini collectibles that are just for here and there. And I think they look really cool. They're really fun. And I guess they control the Toa. I don't know what they do. I guess that's what they do. If they're supposed to be like Krana in any way. And it actually looks really, really cool on him. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. So just pop it off like this. There you go. Alright. So, some more things he can do. And this next thing I'm about to show you is super awesome. This character has a gearbox. That is super, super, super cool. And that's how you know that they're actually trying. They're actually trying for G2 here. That they were actually trying to get it to be reminiscent of that of the original set, so whilst also being in the CCBS form. And they added some new pieces. They added a gearbox and for this piece, for the set, for these sets specifically. They also have this piece right here, so that way it doesn't look all gappy and stuff. So they actually cared for these sets, and this is some of the best of the CCBS I've seen. Hero Factory, they were always so bare bones. These are like absolutely amazing, and every set is built very nicely. And this is definitely no exception. This is a super, super cool feature to have. You can see all the gears, all the workings right here. And so you can have this thing, which is the yellow part, and does not break up the color scheme. It actually keeps to consistent with the yellow and kind of key orange colors on this. But anyway, this, you twist it and the arms, both arms move around just like the original Mata sets. So he can be chopping. He can be chopping. That's super, knock the camera. That is super, super cool. So you can kind of go all the way around if you want him to, which is really nice. I think that's really, really awesome. You can see the little gears go right here. But yeah, that is absolutely cool, and I'm so glad that they added this feature. Brings a little bit of life to this figure here. But the other feature I want to point out is this right here. You can take the top of the axe, and you were wondering what these pieces were for. They're for this. You can put this right here. Take this. And put this right here as well. Put the swords on top. And boom. Here he is with a new set of weapon functions. Now that is super awesome. So, as you can tell with the switch, it just further validates the fact that I was trying to say, that LEGO was trying with these sets, and they were trying to make them great, and they are. I think they really are. And this definitely adds to a double weapon function. Now, this is super cool because not only is it a secondary way to use the weapons, but also it resembles, once again, the Nuva sets. Now he has 2 swords in his hands, and these things are going to help him fly because he is, once again, at heart an air Toa, so let's just remember that. But anyway, so yeah, you can basically, I mean, if you wanted to, just do what the original Nuva was doing. Take this, and do it like this, and then boom, He is Lewa Nuva all over again, and I think that is super cool. It adds to the set, makes it memorable as what this character is and who this character is. We remember now who this character is supposed to be. He's supposed to be Lewa, and he has both weapons. He has both swords and axes, and I think that's super, super cool. And once again, the gear function works very well with this. And you know what? I actually think I prefer this better than the axes, to be quite honest. Because, I mean, if you just look at this, this thing is super awesome. Just pose it like this, and man, CCPS is so poseable. And CCPS, no cracked joints. I have been tiring of the cracked joints, reviewing a bunch of 2007 sets. And I know not all G1 sets have cracked joints, but these have no cracked joints, especially since they came after an era of Bionicle that had cracked joints. So, boom. I mean, this thing is awesome. He has all the set features that you could want. He has dual weapons. He has a gearbox function that takes his mask off, apparently, if you put the sword in the wrong place. And he has multiple accessories, stability and the great friction joints, non-cracking pieces, excellent accessories, like I said, and just an overall non-gappiness to the whole thing. He's not bare bones, and he's got some really, really cool new molds, new pieces, new weapons. Everything about him is super awesome. I absolutely love Lewa. I don't know what I was saying. Absolutely love Lewa, the Master of Jungle. It's sad though that the story was kind of all mixed up and stuff and too simplified. But what they were trying to do, I see what they were trying to do, and they were trying, and I think it was very cool that they did. And the sets are absolutely amazing, regardless of the story. And I think that they should be given a bit more credit than they are. I think these G2 sets are very underrated, and so yeah, I think this is super cool. So yes, this is Lewa, Master of Jungle. He's a super cool character, very reminiscent of his older ones, more reminiscent than Fantoka version was of him, and even adding these to him kind of add tribute to the Fantoka because he has these little fans on his arms. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm sorry that I put a lot of my opinions into it. I really feel very strongly that these sets are very underrated, and so they're not given enough credit. I do see the flaws where they are, and I definitely understand with a lot of arguments, especially people who have nostalgia for G1. I have nostalgia for G1 as well as G2 because I was kind of more I grew up between these two sets, these two waves, these two generations, and so I've had both in my life. And I've had this one just was more prominently because it came out when I was able to collect them a little bit more. And so yeah, but these are super, super cool. I love this set, and I think it's very awesome. And I really enjoy every single little feature about it. Guys, let me down in the comments below what you think, whether or not you think this is a good set or a bad one. I won't slander you if you think it's a bad one, and I won't slander you if you think it's a good one, because after all, this is just the Lego set. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a blessed day, and until next time, goodbye.